I'm Akey Martinson, and I'm upgrading my parents' 1980s vintage intercom to a new video doorbell. Should be an easy job, right? Wrong. Turns out an intercom like this needs a big hole in the wall to accommodate the speaker magnet. The bezel of the video doorbell is probably too small to cover this up. Back to the lab.
Here's the video doorbell they got. This one's made by Ring. It comes with bezels in 4 colors, but they're not big enough to cover the hole. Once again, it's time to do some computer-aided design.
My plan is to make a sort of wood plaque to cover up the hole and attach the doorbell to it. That should be easy enough, right? Wrong again. The holes in the electrical box in the wall are spaced by 4.5 inches, and the holes in the video doorbell are spaced by 4 1/8 inches. That means the screws are separated by only 3/16 of an inch, which is really not enough. Also, the bezel of the doorbell falls right over the screw heads in the wood, which doesn't look nice. They should really be either completely exposed or completely hidden. Here's the solution I came up with, an intermediate metal plate that adapts one to the other. The doorbell screws into the wood screws into the metal screws into the electrical box, and all screws stay hidden. I'm making that plate out of 1/8 inch aluminum. I need to cut it to size and drill some holes. Sharpie is the poor man's layout fluid. These no-good deburring tools are very satisfying. This is a piece of black walnut I got out of my father's supply. Thanks, Dad. There's a knot at one end, but we're going to cut that off. And someone in the past cut a rabbit on one side, but the bevel is going to just miss that too. The circle I'm eventually going to drill out with a Forstner bit, but before that I need to route out a pocket about 1/8 inch deep to accommodate the metal plate. Can I just say, I love drilling walnut. Like butter. Because it's a small workpiece and difficult to clamp otherwise, I'm going to put 2 screws into this circle and attach the walnut to a scrap bit of plywood so I can secure the whole thing and use the router safely. We'll use the plate to set the depth. Right, we are ready to route. I've got this plate clamped down. Using a Forstner bit, I milled out a small pocket that is a little past the depth that we're going to route to. That's so that I don't have to rock this router in. I didn't like the chances of doing that without any drama. I do have a vacuum attachment for this, but I find that it really compromises visibility, and I'm going to be doing this freehand, so I'm not going to use it.
a mess. Couldn't get two screw heads to match, could you?
Now to cut the bevels. I'm setting the blade angle and depth. This is a test setup, so I'm using scrap plywood instead. Then I'm setting up this shop-built featherboard to keep the workpiece against the fence. The featherboard is not my design, but I'll put a link in the description. There's a bit of 2x4 to raise the featherboard above the cut. Then I'm clamping a block that runs along the top of the fence to the workpiece. That's so after the cut, the thin edge of the workpiece won't be able to fall down into the blade slot. As usual, I've got a lot of sanding to do to remove the burn marks and tear out and get the surface ready for finishing.
And now for the scary bit.
I'm using Watco satin spray lacquer from the hardware store. This is the first time I've used it, and I'm a convert. For small projects, spray lacquer is fantastic, and even a rattle can of it will give you impressive results. And it's so fast. I do a coat on the back, wait 15 minutes, then do a coat on the front. After 4 coats front and back, rubbing the surface with craft paper helps to remove any little nibs and makes the finish silky smooth. Because the stucco surface of the wall this is going onto is so uneven, I have to make a gasket out of this surplus foam rubber sheet I found somewhere. Off camera I lacquered the aluminum plate too, because why not give it a little corrosion protection? Then tapped 2 of the holes for 632 threads. And now, back to my parents' house for the installation. With the stucco chipped away under one corner, this plate won't sit completely plumb unless I shim it with something. I'm sticking the gasket with double-sided tape to make this installation a little easier. This tape is only just barely better than spitting on the wall, I think, but I only need it for 2 seconds.
Welcome to Ring, the world's most advanced doorbell. Follow the instructions in the Ring app to continue.
Cute. That's my parents' doorbell leveled up. Hope you liked it.